Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sickle Cell Diseases, and today I'm sitting here with Dr. Khuthala. She's smiling. So this is My Journey to Greatness. My Journey to Greatness is a YouTube series that I started basically just to inspire people by talking to people that I think they're doing very well in their field. And for someone like you who did medical science just like me, who knows a lot of students that are frustrated by medical science,
That's true.
I feel like this is one person that I really had to talk to. Also because she's a doctor, she's also a senior medical scientist, and she's just smashing all those goals. You know, like when you're a medical scientist, the things that you go for. So I hope that I'm able to actually ask you all the relevant questions that you guys want to know without wasting any more time. Let's get right into it. Hi, Khuthala.
Hi, Rishun.
How are you?
Hope I'm pronouncing it very well.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
Okay, welcome to My Journey to Greatness.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm going to start at the end with you, ne? Where are you going?
Oh, you're starting at the end. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Okay. Basically, for me, I want to, like where I'm going, I want to be, obviously to own my group, because I'm in research basically. So I want to have my own group where I'll like supervise, train young African scientists. That's my main goal. That's my main aim, because I feel like we don't have a lot of female black scientists in South Africa.
Okay, maybe I'll be writing my CV so that
I
you can train me. Yeah, I'm also in medical science.
Okay. And I will have a lot of funding. Don't worry, you can write your CV.
Ne? Okay, so where do you come from?
So I come from Eastern Cape, just a small town. I don't think people know it. I'm from Eastern Cape, a small town, Matatiele. I think people will know it because you know the soccer star is from Matatiele. So I'm from Matatiele, in a small village. Yeah, that's where I come from.
Okay, and then please tell me about like your high school life. Did you know what you wanted to do in high school?
To be honest with you, I didn't know what I will be like as we're sitting today. So I thought I wanted to do engineering at first. Because where I come from, as I told you, it's a small town, and where I'm coming from, it's a small village. So when I was looking around, you know, you need someone to motivate you. Not really that you're trying to copy what they're doing, but you need that motivation, someone that you look up to. So there was no one with like medical scientist degree or whatever. It was only one lady with an engineering, like electric engineering. So everyone wanted to do electrical engineering. Because for me, teaching, it's not for me. I know people say I'm a good teacher, but teaching, it's not for me. Nursing, it's not for me as well. So I wanted to do something that I can see results. Okay, you understand? So I wanted to do that, but then I couldn't find anyone doing that. And then my last op was like engineering.
Where did the medical science now come in? Okay,
yeah, you're right. So when I was doing grade 10, so that's why I started doing life science. You know, for us, high school started grade 10, so that's why I started doing life science. That's why you explore more of like different parts of like life science. And then when I was doing grade 11, that's why it started, where we were taught I think genetics, but not into deep level. And then when we were doing grade 12, that's where we're starting like into deep level, where you learn about genetic diseases, natural selection. That's why I was like, oh, this is me, this is
something that I like.
This is what I want to do. You know, everyone want to do medicine. Everyone was like, oh, after we've done this subject, I think I'll do medicine. I was like, no, I don't want medicine. I want this. I want to do like deal with like genetic diseases. I want to solve problem for people. So that's where it came. Okay, so then how did you know that then you need to do medical science? No. Then I knew that I have to do a BSc in genetics. Okay, so you wanted, what I knew at that time, not medical science. That time I knew that I need to do genetics, because one of the teacher from my high school said, I don't know anything about what you want to do, but all I know is that there's a course that's called genetics. Then I started researching about it, and then I saw Cape Town and Free State. They were providing the course. So I started applying at Free State, and then they took me for BSc genetics.
Okay, I want to have a similar story like me, because I also wanted to, I also like saw life science, like this is me, this is definitely me, and I also wanted to do medical science. But I think the mistake that I did was that I did not know what happens after medical science, and that's where the frustration comes for me. Did you know? Okay, because for me also, where I come from, I don't know about you, it's the thing of when you go to university, after 3 years or 4 years, you need to start working,
and then you must provide for your family.
And then you're going to provide. Like for me, actually, my mother always used to tell me, okay, you need to work so that at least one less problem,
so that you can help others that are coming after you. It's always the case for us Black people. We always go to school with an aim that I finish, I get job, I work, and then I help my sister or my brother who's coming after me.
So did you look at genetics as in like, will you finish and get a job, or was it just, this is what I want, I'm going there?
For me, I was not looking for a job after my degree, basically because I always wanted to go to medical science with like genetics. But then at Free State, there was no, let me put it this way, you know, at UCT you can do your BSc in biology or whatever, then you can do your honors in medical science. But then for us, there was no honors program that says medical what. So I had to continue with my genetics and my honors. Then I can start applying somewhere else for masters to do a medical science degree.
So did you have, okay, I'm talking about when you were in high school now. Did you have masters in your head?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Because you know where I come from, there's no information. You don't get like this information. So for me, I thought after my honors, I'll be like a proper medical scientist.
Yeah.
So that was my goal. That okay, Khuthala, you'll finish this degree and then you do your honors, and then after your honors, girl, you're a medical scientist, and then you can do whatever that you want.
Okay. So like I can relate so much to your story, because I did medical science. So for me, now this is me, when I was doing my medical science, first year you get into medical science, there's a group of people that are doing their honors, and they're like, there's no jobs in this thing, you don't know where you go. Did you have that?
That's definitely true. Okay, for me it was not people that were doing honors, you know. When I was looking, you know, for me, I always look ahead before I can go to the next stage. So for me, I was trying to look for like jobs that people can offer for people who have honors in medical sciences. I saw a lot of jobs, and people were saying there are no jobs and there's no money. And then for me, money was not a big thing then. So because I wanted to do this, because I could feel it, this is me, like, and I'm like, excelling.
You're convicted.
Yes. But then when I was doing my honors, to be honest with you, I thought, actually maybe it's not for me. Because,
really?
Yeah, because you know, at University of Free State, you don't get support like at University of Cape Town. Trust me, your supervisor is just there to say do this, do that, and that's it. And for me, I'm from like a small town, small village. English was not a that was a problem, because you know, I had like a basic English that I can just communicate with you. So my supervisor will get annoyed about like small things.
Like what? In the way that you communicate?
Like, no, not in the way that I communicate, in the way that I write or I approach like proposal or papers and stuff, the way that I approach my presentations. Because I had no clue, I had no skill of presentation, because you know, the school that we come from, you just stand there for 2 minutes and you say whatever that you want to say,
and then you mix it with your own language
and that's it. And then you're like, the English will be like, oh, it's gone now. Oh, okay, what's this word? You know, I think she was getting very annoyed at some point, because I could see when I'm struggling, she doesn't have that support that, okay, you can do it. Why don't you try this? Read this book. Try to watch this. You know, those things. There was no support.
I remember I actually, one of my lecturers at UCT actually recommended me to take like an English skills, something
yes,
to do.
even if it's not an English course or something, but there are those courses that they teach you how to write a paper, how to write a review, how to organize your slides in such a way that it makes sense when you present. They didn't give us that, so it was at that time I felt like, oh my God, I think I should then continue with this because I feel like that's my limitation. The language and the skill of presentation, the skill of even writing, it's a skill. There are some people, they just go on and write, but for us, for you to write, you need to put yourself into that space and write. Okay,
so now you're at the University of Free State and you're experiencing all these things. What makes you say that, you know what, I'm actually going to continue with my journey? Because I know for some people, when we experience problems, especially at the end, because now you're at the peak, you can actually go and continue with school, or you can divert and just go to work. What makes you decide on masters?
Oh, for me, actually, I applied for masters, the same university. I don't know why, but to tell you the truth, for me, it was like I had always had this thing in my mind that I want to make a turning point in my life. I want to make a turning point in my family, because in my family, no one has done this. I want to show them that it's possible, regardless of your background. It is possible, because for me, it was always on back of my mind that my family will benefit in this. I can't quit now.
So you were doing it for your family?
Yes, basically I was doing it for my family, for my village, for everyone that knows me, because we didn't have any role model. I wanted to show them that it is possible.
And you are a role model.
Oh.
Let me just say this before we continue. A friend of mine, Diani, we talked so much about you.
Before you knew me.
Before I knew you. And I was just like, she's like, this girl, I need to, okay, let me not say that. But actually, I need to tell her that you're leaving. Because
I told her that I'm leaving.
Oh, you did? Okay, awesome. So then she was like, this girl, she really helped me so much. She was this person. I think you made a whole difference in her life.
I think because I understand Tiana's struggle, because I've been there, and no one will support you to meet you at your point. You know, some people, they treat you at the same level, but you're not at the same level. Understanding and everything. So for me, I just remembered myself at that time doing honors, struggling. It's not like struggling that you're stupid, but you're struggling because there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of things that you need to do, and people are expecting you to do like the next person next to you. That's a lot of pressure. So I understand the pressure. So for me, it was my opportunity to make it something positive in her life. Okay. It was not about the academic, it was about character building.
I think that is the impact that you had, because for example, I'm telling you that I had never met you, I had never heard about you, but this is a friend of mine. We're just pouring our hearts out about the people that have actually made a difference in our lives. Because I remember that's where the conversation started, when we were talking about people that have actually contributed to who we are today. And she mentioned you, and now to be sitting here with you, it's like so it's such a privilege to have you here, Dr. Khuthala. Okay, so now let's talk about you going into UCT. How did you apply? Did you I want to know, because I've had a lot of people asking me, how do you apply? Did you talk to a supervisor? How did you decide which field you want to go into?
Okay, mine, it's a different route, I guess, because since I told you that I did apply for masters at University of Free State, but there was no supervisor that was willing. In masters, there must be a supervisor that is motivating, that I'm willing to take Rushungile as my student, but there was no supervisor that was willing to take me for masters. It was painful, but at the end of the day, God do things in a different way, and you think, oh my God, I've failed, but God is saving you, or is giving you a better opportunity. So I applied for internship because I didn't get the masters at Free State. I applied for internship, so at Department of Education. So I was teaching life science, doing.
So wait, what kind of an internship is this?
So back at Eastern Cape, there's this internship they provide, but I don't think they still do provide because I've never heard about other interns after us. So they call it Dinner Lady. So it's those schools that are performing very well. So they've placed labs in their schools.
Oh, okay, nice.
So those labs, so they need like people that have done like BSc, so that they can be able to show them some practical work. You know, there are books now, they have like practical works that you have to do this mini project, do this and that. And so we're helping a lot with that. So as interns. And then I think it was 1 month left before my internship was like end. And then my friend told me about NRF. So you know NRF. So and it's like, why don't you just apply for NRF internship? I'm like, I've done internship, I'm going to do it that day. But then in back of my mind I was like, if I do NRF internship and then I go to a university and I do what I was like I always wanted to do, that's fine. Then I applied for the internship. Still, because I have so much faith in University of Free State, it was my first op, and then my second op was UCT. You know, we have this thing at home, like in rural areas, that UCT is for rich people. It's for like super smart people.
Telling you about UCT, I did not apply at UCT when I was doing matric because I was like, I'm not at that level.
So you, like in your mind, like your mindset, it's set that it's not for you. It's not for you. So for me, I put UCT as a second option because I thought it's
that they will reject me. Let me not.
But then little did I know UCT will pick me and then Free State will reject me.
Imagine that.
So when UCT picked me, so I got a call from, I remember Professor Dandara. Professor Dandara is, he's running the NRF internship at UCT, Human Genetics.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, oh, are you available on this day for interview? I'm like, yes, I'm available. And then I was digging things that I've done for my honors, trying to refresh my memory and everything. And then during our meeting, I remember it was Professor Dandara and our HOD, Prof. Raj, and my supervisor, Professor Ambrose. And then they were asking questions about, are you willing to relocate? I'm like, I haven't done any interview. I'm like, yes, I'm willing to relocate. Like, what have you done for your honors? And then I explained my project. And then they were like, okay, cool. We are taking you for internship at University of Cape Town, Human Genetics. My older sister knew I've always wanted to come to Cape Town to study at UCT, but I thought it's not for me. You understand? The level, I was looking at the levels like, it's not for me, it's for other people. So I came to UCT that way, like through internship.
Okay. So like for me now, you're explaining it's a very beautiful story of just applying and just going through the process. So like when you did your internship at the school, so did you do that for a year?
Yes, I did that for a year.
And then you did another internship for a year.
Which was an NRF.
Wow. So were you not looking for jobs at that time?
Oh, trust me, I was. Before I did the internship at Department of Education, so I was looking for a job and I couldn't get a job for what I've studied for. And then I was like, you know what, I think God wants to humble me at this point. So I applied for a job at Mr. Price. I'll just mention one situation where what happened during that time when I was working at Mr. Price. My sister was like, it's not for you to get money and give it back to me. It's for you to learn, like the workplace. You understand? You'll meet people with different mindset. It's the same thing, even though it's not your field, but it's going to be the same thing. So I worked at Mr. Price and I was you know those guys that are packing clothes when you come and then you mess around and then they come after you, they pack. So I was doing that. I didn't mind to do that because when I was doing that, I had a prayer in my mind that this is preparing me for bigger things. I just need to be humble where I am, you understand, and just respect people that are managing me, even though they don't have the degree that I have, you understand. And even the manager was asking, what did you do at school? She thought I have a matric, you understand? And I was like, you know, I did this and this, and it's like, and you're working here and you're so humble, and we don't, like, you're treating us as if we have like higher education more than you. For me, it was like, I just need to be humble. I just need to respect, just to treat myself as like a small person, because I'm small in that industry. It's not my industry. It's not my field. So I was like, this is the beginning of bigger things. That's what was, for me, I was not working there to stay for years. It was like, this is just for me to, God wants to humble me.
I like that point. And I just want to ask, do you think, because for me, it's like your humbleness, and now it's just, it makes me feel like your humbleness is actually what actually got you to where you are now.
Yes.
I could be wrong. But okay, you're confirming that. That is good. Like, is it something that you were born with, or is that something that you taught yourself to be humble?
I think at home, that's what my mom was teaching us before she passed away. Basically, I didn't mention that I'm an orphan. I lost my mother like at a young age, and my father as well. So the way she was teaching us to live, like just basic things for life, like to appreciate what you have, always give, even if it's small, just give to the next person who doesn't have.
Oh, you're touching me right now.
So that's what my mother used to, like, that's the teaching that I've got, because when I grew up, my mother used to have like business, like, it's not a proper businesses, but we used to sell vegetables. So, you know, people that are sitting on the stand and they're selling vegetables was different with my mother. My mother wanted you to go house to house and sell those vegetables. And my older sister was in high school, I remember. So I'll go to school, after school I'll take the veg, and then I go around and then I ask people to buy. Some people will say, it's not good. Why is it like this? No, I'm not buying. No. You know what? And that has taught me, like, to accept every situation that you go through. Because when people, they were not buying, it was painful at that time. But then, I told myself that the next person will buy. You understand? It was like the teaching that my mother taught us as we grew up, that no one will give you something. You need to work for whatever that you have to get at the end of the day.
I can imagine that, like, having to go house to house, the rejection that you found, and having to remain humble because you want the next person to actually buy from you. So you cannot allow that.
You can't be angry. You can't have like temper that, why are you not buying and stuff. Because I remember this at the time. Oh my God. You're getting me cry.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this part. Please look out for part 2 with Dr. Mnika Khuthala.